So for the first 6 weeks of uploading to this channel, I was getting almost 0 views and 0 subscribers. And it got to a point where I realized I need to switch something up. So after making just one small change, I reached my first 1,000 subscribers just 8 days later, which is absolutely mental. So in this video, I want to share with you how I made that happen using that one simple change and how you can also use it to get to your first 1,000 subscribers as well. Okay, so here we are inside of my YouTube analytics, and what we're looking at here is the first 6 weeks of the channel. And you can see there's not really much going on. So we're getting 10 views, 8 views, some days were even 0 views. And over the course of that entire 6-week period, we gained 11 subscribers. And it's important to note that all new creators and all new YouTube channels have a period like this where there's nothing going on. And I call this the dead zone. But also because the niche I'm trying to get into is extremely saturated, which by the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is George and I help early stage creators to grow faster and earn more. But this content creation niche is very saturated. So I did expect the results to be quite slow at first, but I'm not sure if I expected the views to be this low. I mean, there were some videos that literally got 0 views when I uploaded them. And if you're in this stage of your journey as a creator, maybe you can relate to this, because even though the views were very low, I knew I had something to share. And I knew that I had insights that people would find valuable. So I had to keep going. But having said that, it's still not a great feeling. Like, let's just be honest with each other. If you spend hours or even days on a video and you put your heart into it and your creativity into it, and it gets like 7 views, it does sting a little bit. Like, let's just be honest. But then I posted a video called How Content Creation Completely Changed My Life in 90 Days. And it's actually pretty likely that that video is how you found my channel in the first place. And now if we look back to the analytics, you can see that that 6-week period that we were looking at before, I mean, you can barely even see those spikes that we were looking at. And you can see as soon as I posted that video, the views just immediately shot up to, about 6,000 views a day. And if we click up here, you can see that in the 8-day period after I posted that video, we reached 1,000 subscribers. And I really wanted to show you this because I really want you to see that just one video can literally change everything. And I think this is so interesting because when it comes to YouTube, I think a lot of new creators, they expect to see kind of slow linear progression over time. And they usually expect to see something a little bit like this. And there's a reason why we expect this because, in life, that's usually how we see results, with this kind of slow linear progression towards our goals. For example, if you were trying to learn the piano, you would expect that over time and over the years with practice, you would slowly improve and slowly see results. But when it comes to seeing results on YouTube, I would say 90% of the time, it's not going to look like this. It's going to look more like this, where we have this kind of long dead zone period, and then all of a sudden you post one video and everything changes. And this actually happens to most of the big creators. So I remember Hamza back in the day talking about this, where he was describing this long period where nothing was going on, and then all of a sudden he posted one video and his entire channel blew up. And this is so valuable because it means that if you're not seeing results yet, and maybe you're feeling a little bit disheartened, it might be because you're expecting to be here in terms of your results, but you might actually be here. So yeah, that's just something to think about. Now let's dive into this then. So what one change did I make right here to reach my first 1,000 subscribers in 8 days? Now here's the thing, when you are an early stage creator, you have a big problem to overcome. And that's that when people see your video recommended, they also see the amount of views. And this could be a bit of a problem because unfortunately, when people see a video with low views, they associate it with low quality. And then obviously they're less likely to click on it. And the most egregious example of this is if you were to upload a video called How to Grow on YouTube and the video had, like 7 views, then it's going to be very hard to get people to take you seriously. But this also actually applies to any niche on YouTube. Because if people see your video next to a video that has a ton of views, they're going to be more likely to click on the video with high views because again, they associate it with high quality. And I wish that wasn't the case, but it is the truth. So how do we remedy this issue? How do we counteract this negative social proof of having low views and not many subscribers? Well, what we're going to do is lean into our newcomer status. So what on earth do I mean by that? Well, I think this will make a lot more sense if I give you an example. So let's say you're trying to get into the fitness niche and you've got 12 subscribers, you're a brand new creator. Now at some point, your videos are going to start getting recommended next to the absolute pros. These are guys with perfect bodies, in perfect lighting, they've got millions of views. And if you posted a video called How to Build Muscle Fast or something like that, it is game over because people are going to go with the pros with millions of views every single time because they're going to assume that they have more value to give. It's just the harsh truth. But here's how we fix this. We need to lean into the fact that we are new creators. We need to lean into our newcomer status. So instead of just posting a broad video about how to build muscle fast, it would be way more powerful to post a video documenting your first year or even your first 30 days trying to build muscle as a beginner. And to prove how well this idea works, this is Joe Fazer's channel. He has around 2 million subscribers, and his first ever video has 31 million views. And the title and thumbnail looks like this. Now, the thing is that 31 million people didn't click on this video because they thought he was a certified expert. They clicked because they saw themselves in him, and they wanted to follow along with the early stages of his journey. So now if we zoom out, this is so interesting because if you post a video where you lean into your status as a new creator, instead of trying to look like an expert, the fact that the video has low views kind of complements the video itself, because it makes people think that they're discovering something valuable and something relatable that not that many people know about. And the crazy thing is that in all the videos I've watched about, how to grow a YouTube channel, they never mention this, which is mad because it's such a powerful concept for new creators. Because again, this is the concept that I used to start seeing some real growth on this channel. So instead of posting videos like how to grow an audience in 2025 and things like that, instead I decided to switch it up and lean into my newcomer status and start talking about the struggles and the successes of my first 90 days as a content creator. And in that video that did quite well, I talked about all my insecurities and all my overthinking when talking to a camera. And I talked about my unfiltered experiences as a beginner. And I think people really resonated with that because it's something that everyone goes through and everyone can relate to when it comes to getting into content creation. So finally, how do we apply this to your own videos? So you want to start off by asking yourself, what journey are you actually on right now? Like genuinely, what are you learning? What are you building? And what are you struggling with? Because trust me, these small moments are so much more powerful than you think. These are the moments that make your story real and they make you more magnetic. And then you can also think, what is a specific milestone that you've hit recently, even if it's small, that others might want to hit as well? Like for example, this video right now. So to a lot of people, hitting 1,000 subscribers is not really a big deal, but to a lot of small creators, it's a huge milestone. And these are the aspects of your journey that you really want to focus on. And it's so cool because this is actually your advantage as a small creator, because people don't always want to learn from the experts or the gurus. Sometimes they'd rather just learn from the person who is maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of them. And I think that's actually what I'd like to leave you with, because if you're sat there thinking, I don't have anything to teach, or I don't have anything that I'm an expert in, then you're probably the exact kind of creator that somebody out there needs.